Hi there everyone, it is currently the evening of the 13th going into the 14th of May 2013. That is Monday going into Tuesday here. And we are continuing to watch Tropical Cyclone Mahasen pulling through the Bay of Bengal here. But really, this is where the center of circulation is at this time. Winds about 74, gusting up to 120 kilometers per hour. Expected landfall here on to Thursday noon, between noon and afternoon time there into Bangladesh. Remember that this is all a very low-lying area. So this is definitely going to be bringing the risk of some flooding out across much of those coastal areas there. But this is looking at the satellite imagery, center of circulation, actually a little bit west, I think, from where JTWC is pinning it here, and it's really continuing on a westerly track, and that may be why right now actually moving due west. And I know if you're off here in eastern India, you are definitely watching this and are on pins and needles at this time on if it's going to continue on this due westerly track, and it really kind of looks that way, doesn't it? But all the models are looking at it, and also you can see it here with these clouds being pulled off towards the north. There's an upper level trough that is grabbing it, and it is likely going to make that right-hand turn here in the next 12 to 24 hours. It's going to linger just off the coastline, and what that is doing, it is causing some problems with some rainfall right in the coastal areas. And also I saw some video of a lot of boats being damaged straight up here, especially some of these fishing villages. So definitely high wave warnings are in effect all along the regions here, and then still the heavy rainfall. And some of these outer bands can also bring, well, some thunderstorm activity with it. Now, what we are seeing, this is going to continue to pop up. The heaviest storms are offshore, but dry air inflows continuing to wrap around at the vertical wind shear is blowing it off there towards the side. So that's going to keep it at that moderate intensity. But once it moves a little bit farther towards the north, the shear is going to relax and allow for the system to intensify, well, more so. And let's actually zoom this back out a little bit. And you can see the east coast of India here off towards Bangladesh, Myanmar right over here. And this is the GFS model. Let's take a look at this, because GFS and ECMWF, no gaps, they all keep that track moving off towards Bangladesh into Myanmar. But this one keeps it most bullish and farthest to the west, pulling it on shore here into Bangladesh on Thursday as a fairly strong cyclonic storm. This would be a very bad situation here. Really, that wraparound and that storm surge definitely go upstream here, Chittagong. You definitely do not need this to impact you at all, but also that storm surge can impact a little bit farther towards the east and all of these refugee camps near coastal areas there in Myanmar. Plenty of refugees out. And I say that so vaguely, but nearly 130,000 people who are trying to escape, clashes between the Buddhists and Muslims into western portions of the country. All this information here, one of the most recent updates at the website. Please do go check that out. Now that's with GFS. Now, a lot of the other models pulling it farther towards the east, and that's kind of what the Indian Meteorological Department's pulling on as well. They're into eastern Bangladesh, expecting the landfall. This would be worst case scenario for a lot of those refugee camps extending up and down the coastlines here. But also, this one's really following the ECMWF, and also NavGen's pulling on the easterly direction, keeping it weaker, though. They do expect this to maintain that intensity. My thoughts, because this is still working on that westerly track, I do think that it's going to be a little bit farther there towards the west, actually more so of what JTWC is saying, vice the Indian Meteorological Department. And this is actually the model split at this time. Some of them pulling it farther off there towards the east, and a few other ones pulling it there towards the west. GFS, you can see here on the far right, the far left outlier. ECMWF actually has been pulling it far right outlier. But the intensity of these storms are significantly different as well, or at least the output from these different models. Some of them are expecting that wind shear. My thoughts, I do think that it is going to intensify to the equivalent of a weak typhoon category 1 or severe cyclonic storm prior to landfall, slightly weakening. Main risk with this, though, there is going to be coastal storm surge, and there is going to be heavy rainfall. Even the ECMWF, which keeps it weaker, still shows that very intense rainfall right here near the coastlines. And another aspect, if not the humanitarian part, with a lot of people in refugee camps, low-lying area, coastal flooding. This area has been hit in the last 7 days. This is the last 7-day rainfall over Bangladesh, and something not many people are touching on here. Just look at that. Upwards of nearly 500 to 600 millimeters have fallen in a lot of these low-lying areas, and also off there towards eastern India. The area is already flooded. The ground is saturated. Any more coming off this storm, it's just going to not soak in the ground, run downstream, and that is where we see well, that severe risk of river flooding. So the Ganges River Delta really high at risk here, also extending off there through western Myanmar and also eastern India. You're still going to get some heavy rainfall out of this, even though the storm likely is just going to continue to skirt the coastline. Those outer rain bands are going to continue to push on shore. Also here, this is the Tropical Information Center at the website page at westpacweather.com. Just scroll through it and check some of these tabs out. We have the satellite imagery, different tabs. That's actually pretty horrible right now, but the visible one looks pretty good during the day. This one's going to continue to be updated throughout. Once a storm starts to push ashore, hopefully this remains actually empty. Fingers crossed, our latest news stream and the latest video update. This one will actually be added to this as the most previous update. So go check that out. But as always, stay safe out there, everyone. Please continue to check back in with the Indian Meteorology Department, also here at Westpac Weather. Also, if you are anywhere remotely close to this storm's path, take it seriously. Even though it is a relatively weak storm compared to most of these storms we cover, it still has the potential to bring some heavy rainfall and gusty winds, especially near coastal areas here in western India and off there towards North Bangladesh and Myanmar by Thursday when we see this landfall. So, thanks for watching, though, and have a great day.